It starts with a disturbing discovery deep inside Enugu State. Not rumors, not whispers, but a detailed security report alleging that more than 20 highly organized killer herdsmen camps are operating quietly inside Ezeagu communities, right under the nose of the Nigerian state. Now, let us look at this clearly. According to this new report, these camps are not scattered hideouts. They are said to be structured, layered, coordinated, and embedded within forests and river valleys that once sustained life, farming, and commerce. Communities named include Emeziowa, Oguobuowa, Olo, Mbagbuowa, and Oge, places that many Nigerians would never imagine have become centers of fear. If you're watching at this point, please like this video and subscribe. It helps this analysis reach more people. The report, compiled by the International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law, Intersociety, says these camps were uncovered during field investigations. And what makes this even more unsettling is the description of how these camps allegedly operate. We are told they follow a 6-layered structure. Each layer is said to be coordinated by an Alhaji, reportedly linked to the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Makaban. These leaders allegedly oversee specific forest zones, with herds of cattle roaming freely while lives, farmlands, and livelihoods are destroyed. From this point, we need to understand why this report has triggered such deep concern. The camps are allegedly coordinated around the Ajali River axis, a river that holds enormous historical, environmental, and economic importance for Enugu and neighboring Ebonyi State. For decades, Ajali River supplied clean water. Since the 1980s, it supported pump water schemes, fertile farmlands, cassava production in industrial quantities, and even one of the largest cassava markets in Enugu State. Traders came from Anambra, Ebonyi, and beyond. Communities thrived. Today, according to this report, that same river valley has become a zone of fear. Now let us pause and ask a question. How does a region go from being an agricultural and economic lifeline to allegedly hosting terror camps for over a decade? And more importantly, how do such camps allegedly remain active since 2010? Please drop your thoughts in the comment section. I want to hear what you think. Another angle to this issue is the proximity of these alleged camps to civilian institutions. The report claims that the headquarters of these camps are located in Agu Obu Owa, close to a secondary school, Fatima Secondary School. This raises serious social and legal concerns. If these allegations are accurate, then we are not just talking about insecurity in distant forests. We are talking about armed groups allegedly operating near children, teachers, and everyday civilian life. From a legal and constitutional perspective, this opens difficult questions. Section 14 of Nigeria's constitution clearly states that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. So, Nigerians are asking, if communities have lived under fear since 2010, where has the state been? At the same time, it is important to maintain balance. These are allegations contained in a civil society report. They require thorough investigation, verification, and official response. But the details provided, locations, structures, leadership names, timelines, are specific enough to demand serious attention. Please like this video and subscribe if you are following this breakdown.
Now, let us place this within the broader Nigerian context. Insecurity is no longer a regional issue in Nigeria. From the northwest to the middle belt, from the southeast to the southwest, communities are grappling with banditry, terrorism, kidnapping, and violent crime. What makes the Ezeagu report particularly sensitive is its intersection with long-standing ethnic, religious, and political tensions. The Southeast already carries historical trauma, from the Civil War to decades of perceived marginalization to present-day economic hardship and youth frustration. When reports emerge suggesting organized violent camps operating unchecked in such regions, it deepens mistrust and fear. Ordinary farmers are affected first. They abandon their farmlands, markets collapse, young people migrate, families lose income, communities that once fed cities now struggle to feed themselves. And then there is the emotional weight. Supporters of the report argue that it finally gives voice to what locals have been crying about for years. They say the fear is real, the losses are real, and the silence has been deadly. Critics, however, warn against ethnic profiling and collective blame. They caution that such reports, if mishandled, could inflame tensions between communities and deepen divisions in an already fragile nation. This is why careful professional investigation matters. Another deeply emotional part of the report is the link to earlier attacks in Enugu State. Intersociety recalls assaults on church communities in Ezeagu, where over 117 parishioners were reportedly killed with bodies buried inside church compounds. The report suggests those attacks were linked to camps across state borders. For families who lost loved ones, these revelations reopen wounds. For communities, they reinforce a feeling that justice has been delayed or denied. But now let us consider the government's possible perspective. Security agencies often argue that forested terrains are difficult to police, that intelligence gathering takes time, and that operations must be carefully planned to avoid civilian casualties. They may also argue that not all herders are criminals, and that distinguishing criminal elements from lawful pastoralists is complex. There is also the political sensitivity. Naming groups, associations, or individuals carries legal consequences. Governments tend to move cautiously to avoid inflaming national tensions or triggering reprisals. However, caution must not become paralysis. When civil society organizations provide detailed findings, locations, leadership structures, timelines, and environmental impact, the reasonable expectation is investigation, transparency, and accountability. Now let us ask another question. Will there be an official response to this report? Will security agencies confirm or dispute these claims? Will affected communities be protected? Please share your thoughts in the comments. Looking ahead, the implications of this development are significant. If the allegations are verified, we could see intensified security operations in Ezeagu and surrounding areas. There may be arrests, prosecutions, or policy shifts on grazing, forest security, and community policing. If ignored, the consequences could be severe. Escalating violence, economic collapse of agrarian communities, deepening mistrust in government, and further fragmentation of national unity. International observers may also take interest, especially given the repeated references to jihadist structures. Nigeria's global security partnerships depend heavily on how such threats are addressed. And for ordinary Nigerians watching this, farmers, traders, parents, students, the question remains painfully simple. Will they be safe? As we end this breakdown, remember that this story is still developing. Allegations demand investigation, fear demands empathy, justice demands action. Please like this video and subscribe if you value calm, balanced, and honest analysis. And most importantly, keep the conversation going, because silence has never solved insecurity in Nigeria.